What's going on? It's Fizz. Just climbed a hill, so kinda out of breath. But this video is gonna be the power of thinking. Now, especially for the people who think a lot. Well, while you do want to think some, it's best to be thoughtless. This is where a practice such as meditation comes into. If you are bored, planning can be involved, having anxiety, or just simply relaxing. And meditating can be in a lot of positions and anything, any position you want it to be. But most people usually just sit down when they do it. You want to be in a non-stimulating and non-moving environment for beginners. Now this is a great way of harnessing your thoughts, harvesting your thoughts, and just general planning. When I meditate, as of now, I would just sit there and not have any thoughts in my head. And logically, it doesn't make any sense, but it can be very beneficial. Now, the power of thinking, the power of this video, or for the people who are analytical, I was afraid to say it, analytical, people who think a lot or discuss a lot of things with their mind, their monkey mind. See, the whole thing is stress. If you calm down your monkey mind, your stress, what meditating does, or being comfortable, these things make you not go into those stages that much. Also, they make you, if you do come in those stages, or just in general, make you become more aware of going into this stage, preventing it from progressing, captivating you, and also maybe turning it off, or just doing something different to the sequence. When you become alert, mindfulness. The power of thinking. Here we go. When I discuss this, I want you to be aware of your thinking. You can create your reality, at least one you prefer. You might not always expect to do the things that you have to do something you want to do. And ultimately, we're going to find a new word, and ultimately, you could end up doing something different than what you thought you were going to do, or come back to it, or branch out from that. And this is where maybe a word of entrepreneurship will come into play. I'm just saying, things don't always aren't what they seem. And turn out how you want it to be. So power of thinking can lead to many things. There's some people who can't think or have struggle thinking, or on the contrary, let's be honest, aren't that smart, intelligent. Does not make you better. And this person that's not as smart could be physically stronger than you and may cause your death. Having intelligence though, along with the other side, but we're not getting into that for this video, are the same strengths. Someone who's a gamma, if you want to get into this, someone's just been talking about it, but if you're a gamma male, it doesn't even matter. Just know you can use your intelligence, whomever being you are, into your existence. That's why a lot of people who have money, maybe their physicality or even masculinity, which you want to define that as, would be more leadership, but I'm not just saying that's in a man, so don't take it as like that. But as I was saying, you can use your intelligence, even if you aren't that strong, or even if you are that strong, to your benefit. And the best way to maybe do this would be sitting down with yourself comfortably. The thing a man can't do, and I say man and her when I say that, is sit quietly by themselves. Ultimately, the state of bliss is a thoughtless state, so to speak. It's not having thoughts running in, it's being in control. You can use your power of thinking many ways. And even this is just the way. But don't set your thoughts on one thing either. It can be good, but it's like a power. Hence the power of thinking. If you put all your thoughts on one, they might draw you in. They might lure you in like the sirens. And you may get too caught up in the one. And the best person is all in your regards is flexible entrepreneurship. And when I say that, I mean doing many things. Being a master nowadays is useful and can be the best thing ever. But you don't have to master one thing to master the thing you want to do. You might end up doing a bunch of other things, then coming to that thing later. I'm just saying, don't put all your cookies in one jar. People don't understand the power of thinking. A lot of people think too much. It's best not to think at all. Or be limited in thoughts, or control your thoughts. That's a master. People can't push you over. Don't let people push you over. You are the pushover. You are the one that's pushing yourself over to the pushover. It's exactly how it sounds. What no one else is doing. If you want to be smart, whatever smart means to you, take some time to yourself. Inherently, that's what I need to do too. Do whatever it is you gotta do. It's not gonna be like, oh, next day I'm gonna be in California or in some mystical place. It might not be a direct route. You might have some side stops or some layovers. You might stop at some other places before you get there. Life is more like a never-ending road trip, which is a great way to put it, but it's if you want it to be. If doing something doesn't make you feel good, then why do it at all? This is why we come into awareness, concentration, and just paying attention to the mind, fullness, attention, so you know the things you're creating before you know you create them. Not to say that's always the case. It's definitely not. But you have an idea, and that's where it starts. It started with a word, but before it started with a word, it started with a thought. And what do I mean by thought? An envisionment. God had a vision. Stories, folklore, mystical things, even video games, even real life, which is spiritual in itself, because life is the spirit. We are in the spiritual realm. It's just different. It's not exactly what you thought it would be. You can only think of something else. Again, humans are telepathic, but that's why when we hear things or get messages, they're not in words, they're in codes. What are codes? Envisionments, revelations, but also more, they're just pictures. The pictures in your mind. You ever hear of the saying, which you probably did, pictures paint 1,000 words? Yes, the pictures in your mind. Should have told you that too. You paint the picture. That picture someone made started from in the mind. They didn't just fucking paint something up out of fucking nowhere with strokes. A lot of those things are calculated strokes. For the most part. Not saying that is art or drawing, because it can be anything, or it can be virtually anything. But you get what I mean at that point. The museum is full of things that people, mainstream, popular, like to see. It may not be what you like to see. Would you even ever care to see that? Would you go to see that? Doesn't matter. Maybe that propels you into making your own art, your own museum, doing your own thing. Because you don't want to get caught up in a loop unless it's a good loop and you're still consciousness, which is a routine, but more so a loop. A lot of things run in loops. Do you want your life to be repetitive? And if it is repetitive, do you like how it's being repetitively? The patterns? Because that's what it is. You don't have to follow those patterns though that's our natural tendency, but we can use the power of thinking not to follow those. Which ultimately the power of thinking, sometimes the power of no thinking or not thinking at all, which is very powerful. That's where people actually might get inspiration, draw energy, get an envisionment, have a miracle, have a revelation, or simply just relax. It doesn't always got to be something crazy, but then again, every moment's crazy, which is ultimately how you want your life to be, in a good way. At the end of the day, you do you. And as I may, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing this for a long run, and there's going to be other videos, interestingly, going to happen on here, and other things.